So the Sydney Sweeney thing to me is interesting on a number of levels. And just for the people who haven't seen the story, because it's everywhere, but she's an American actress. She's beautiful. She's blonde. She's got blue hair, blue eyes, and white skin. And she's in this American Eagle ad for their jeans. And the tagline is Sydney Sweeney has good genes. And now the left is completely freaked out over it, saying that this is about eugenics and white supremacy. I'm going to show the audience just some of the reaction because these nutcases, people need to know what they're sounding like. Here's a montage we put together, SOT 23.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics?
Praising Sydney Sweeney for her great genes in the context of her white, blonde hair, blue eye appearance. It is one of the loudest and most obvious racialized dog whistles we've seen and heard in a while.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
And you put out an ad, a white, blonde, blue-eyed, Hitler's wet dream talking about how much she loves her genetics. It would still be fucking weird. But then you add the fact that the nation is on its last fucking leg promoting this Christian nationalism, white supremacist, fascist, bigot bullshit alongside a leader that has explicitly stressed the importance of being gene rich as opposed to gene natural, which falls alongside a lot of the same things that fucking Hitler promoted back in Nazi Germany. And it's not too hard to see that this shit is Nazi propaganda. No ifs, ands, and motherfucking buts. It's literally eugenics.
Walter, here's a little quiz for you. See if you can get this right. What one common thing do you notice among all of those women?
That they're less attractive than Sydney Sweeney.
There we go. I mean, literally everyone on Earth is, but these women are particularly, we might say, genetically challenged.
Yes. Well, what's funny about good genes is that when I first saw the ad, I thought it was a joke about her, two most prominent assets,
Yes.
The idea that it was about her skin or her blue eyes, I'm sorry, as a red-blooded American male, it's not her blue eyes or her skin that I first see when I look at that picture. I was just in Times Square, Megyn, just the other day, and there is a huge video billboard in Times Square, a full motion video billboard in which she's lying on maybe a bed. She's lying on the ground and she's blowing kisses down at the crowds in the audience. And I saw as many people of all sorts of races looking up at her, wishing that they were in that room with her. As I can tell you, it cut across all lines.
Yes. So to me, it's very interesting. I mean, it's predictable that this is where the left went with it. But I think that this ad is resonating for a number of reasons. Yes, of course, she's gorgeous. And just like all models, people will happily pay to look at that. Like, there are American Eagle accurately deduced, they would pay her because people would want to look at her and that they would be drawn to their product if they saw this beautiful woman wearing it. They were absolutely right. But I think there's a couple things happening here. Yes, of course, it does say hotness is back. And that's an important moment in 2025. We were sick of ugliness being in.
Didn't Justin Timberlake say that once? Sexy was back. Why didn't they get on him?
Then it went out again. We've been suffering with the elevation of objectively homely people in our modeling ads and our fitness ads for years now, and we're over it. We miss attractive people. That's it. Like, we're sick of trying to pretend that these objectively unattractive people are the new beauty standard. They're not. No one ever took to it. They tried to cancel Jordan Peterson for saying things like that. He was right. Like, there is an objective standard of beauty, at least insofar as American cultural values go. It has nothing to do with white skin. Whitney Houston was probably one of the most beautiful Americans ever to walk the earth. It's just, you know it when you see it. It tends to involve symmetrical features. It tends to involve thinness or fitness. It tends to involve, in many cases, they say wide set eyes, larger lips, thin nose. There's all sorts of things that people are naturally attracted to. You can have it if you're black, you can have it if you're white, brown, whatever. But here's what I wanted to say. This is the piece that no one's saying, and I think we should say it because it's real and there's nothing wrong with it. We're sick and fucking tired of the nonsense where you are not allowed to ever celebrate someone who is white and blonde and blue-eyed. That we have to walk into a room apologetic for those things, or we have for the past 5 years. And in a way, this ad is the final declaration that we're done doing that shit. It doesn't mean we're better, but you know what? We're no worse than any other race or any other hair color or eye color, and we're fucking sick of being told that we are by having all of our representation, to use the left's terms, removed from television shows and movies and historical plot lines that involve people who do look like us, but suddenly we've been deemed too offensive to remain white, like Anne Boleyn, who needed to be changed into a black woman in order to appeal to people's cultural sensitivities. Or, stupid stuff like, they had to change Hermione Granger in the play version of Harry Potter into a black girl because something's offensive, I guess, about the redheaded white girl. We're done with that bullshit. And by the way, that was bullshit anyway, because you don't get representation for other races by erasing the white people and the roles that they've filled and replacing them with people of color. You create new roles, create new stories, and put black people and Hispanic people and Asian people and all the people in the starring roles there and create new art with that. The answer was never to go back and start scrubbing Peter Pan to make Tinkerbell something other than a white girl with yellow hair, which is another one that they touched and are trying to do. Or Snow White now has to be Latina instead of a white woman with black hair. We're sick of the bullshit. It's okay to say a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes is gorgeous with great genes. Period.
Marilyn Monroe would agree. Marlene Dietrich would agree. All the film stars of my youth who had these characteristics were celebrated, and not for their whiteness, but for their beauty. I don't like it when there's one word for a very complex phenomena. When I was a kid, we weren't white. There were Italians, there were Scandinavians, there were Puerto Ricans, there were this, there were that. Now they want to force it all into one box, one category, and then they want to make it controversial. And I refuse to buy into it. She is a lovely young woman, too young for me, unfortunately, but not for those crowds in Times Square. And she fills a great Hollywood tradition of the bombshell. She's the bombshell. Yeah. And bombshells used to have certain characteristics that had nothing to do with white supremacy. In fact, Marilyn Monroe married a socialist playwright named Arthur Miller. And
he was terrible to her.
He wasn't, yes. Or Joe DiMaggio, there was all sorts of complexity to being white before, but now it's just this big stamp on your file. And I'd like to go back to a little bit broader distinctions. But for me, the news of Sydney Sweeney is that heterosexuality is legal again. I think that there is going to be a baby boom in 9 months, because I think a lot of those people in Times Square who were staying in the hotels around Times Square went home with a little bit more of a spring in their step after she blew them kisses.
You're not wrong. We've been just living through a 5-year period where we were told we needed to celebrate Dylan Mulvaney as the new female beauty standard. It's a no. Finally, we have an actual woman with amazing breasts and an obviously kick-ass body who is in a dress or in her jeans, whatever. And it's wonderful. It's like, yes, you know what? That's what red-blooded American men want to see. And it's what most red-blooded American women at one point or another kind of hoped they might turn out to be. Whether we did or not is a different story, but we can admire it and appreciate it as an ideal.
My son, who looks a lot like me, only younger, his first celebrity sighting was Halle Berry in a line for a seafood joint in Malibu. And he said, "Who is she?" And I said, "Why?" He wasn't even at the age he was supposed to appreciate feminine beauty. I think he was 9. And she said, "She's the most beautiful person I've ever seen."
She is. That's like our son was taking swim lessons when he was a real little guy in the single digits. And there was a very attractive lifeguard. And we said, "Hey, why do you like her so much?" Because he kept looking at her. He kept wanting to do those swim lessons. He was like, "Okay, it's time. I got to go practice." And we said, "Why do you like her so much?" And he said, "Because she looks so good." I mean, we're programmed. Most heterosexual people are programmed this way. It's what is necessary to the continuation of the human race. It's only in the past 5, 10, 15 years, I'll give it, where we've tried to shame that out of American men, try to make them feel toxically masculine if they have those thoughts, try to tell us, "I'm sorry about this woman over here on the left. I speak the truth in my Calvins. Yes, okay, she's a black woman, but she's obese." And nobody wanted to put on their Calvins, here she's wearing underwear. From looking at this, over here on the right, you want to join the rodeo and be in a full jean outfit by the close of day, given how she's portraying these. And
remember, this is fashion. Fashion changes. Because this has been suppressed for so long, she has extra power. Listen, there are probably 20 models of her type who are also damned attractive. And if they were flooded into our consciousness for 5 solid years, we'd probably want to see something else. But because they have taken her type and suppressed it, it's called the return of the repressed in Freudian psychology. Whatever you keep down, when you try to put a beach ball under the surface of your pool, it will pop up. And she has popped up with a vengeance. And I love it. It keeps my mind alive. It keeps my body alive. It keeps the culture alive. And if they want to make a villain of her or cast a narrative around her that's Nazi-ish, go ahead, because we aren't listening. We're looking.
No, not at all. It's the Streisand effect. It's had the effect of amplifying her ads and her way more than American Eagle could ever have hoped for. Their stock is up 20%. She's made them hundreds of millions of dollars. I saw the estimate at 200 million. Don't know whether that's true, but she's increased their stock by 20%. So the great thing is, Walter, we're going to get a whole lot more of it.
Yes, and we're going to get it in real life. We're going to get people imitating this look. We're going to get people in American Eagle jean shirts unbuttoned to the nth degree. This is going to be good for the environment culturally, I think.
Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they are moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. And Birch was an advertiser on this show 12 months ago. If you had purchased then, you'd be 40% richer today. Now's the time. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by burying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold so easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold is going to send you a free info kit on gold. Look into it, see if it's right for you. There's no obligation, just useful information to help you make a decision. With an A+ rating, with a Better Business Bureau, and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.